More running. At least able to make it through dungeons more quickly this way. That's why I don't like... Yeah, I've stated reasons why I do not like Game Boy Advance version as much, because it can be... Because if you overpower your characters, this game gets boring rather quickly. So there's a lot to like about it. Just the PlayStation version does it better. With more balanced difficulty. Having boss HP higher, but not ridiculously high to the point where you have to get bored with grinding. Just have a chance against him. Rooms that are consistent are the final rooms, at least in this one. You get to choose which boss you want to face. Here I'm healing a bit. I choose to fight which is arguably the weakest, though not by a lot. Which is probably the second weakest. Sadly, I haven't taught Vocal Haste for some reason. I mean, I guess thought it wasn't necessary because I figured since I teach it to Red Mage, which it was at the time, and eventually Ninja, I didn't need it, but it certainly would have helped immensely. See how much damage it did? I mean, granted, it's a black wizard, but still, it almost killed it. Enemies are such weaklings, like enemies you'd face like in between the difficulty of Chapter 3 and Chapter 4, you know, in between Lich and Carry. These bosses, if you're not able to make it through the Temple of Fiends, you probably won't be able to beat these guys either. Which makes me wonder how much tougher the bosses from the one with 40 floors have. Are they that much tougher? Am I gonna have to grind a lot more? Am I gonna have the patience to have to go through it? Again, at least I will show off this one and Hellfire. So at least show off some of what NES and / PlayStation players are missing. Temper. One thing I failed to do, using mixture of temper and haste. I guess I thought it was broken, and it is a little. To think haste is a level 4 spell, yet it's like the most important one, or at least up there, when it comes to black magic. And let me tell you, Akira not being able to use level 8 and much of level 7 white magic really makes things tremendously challenging. And you're not able to just leave and face the other bosses. The door will be locked. Like, the Light Warriors can defeat that dragon, yet they can't slice a door or something. Actually, I showed this area off because I want to show, like, the only formidable enemy in here. The Abyss Worm. Figured it was a worm. Text was in the way for a second there. Expect a good amount of experience and expect to die if you go through this just after defeating Lich. Flare. The spells look pretty cool, at the very least. See how much damage you did to Ryo, who was clearly not searching for Landy. Shenmue reference. Obviously has the highest defense. Yep. That's the only other time I show off the desert area. Now I'm gonna show off the other 3 bosses, who are slightly tougher than when I faced. I end up facing probably the most difficult one because this is the one I spoke of earlier that you're constantly, is constantly trying to instant kill one of your light warriors. Thankfully, no death exists, although I'm not sure if it's 100% guaranteed or just less likely. And it's gonna constantly do so. I mean, I have stop and warp, yet they're pretty much useless because they do not work on bosses. And if you're gonna use on enemies that you can take down, you may as well just use Flare instead. Actually, tries to kill all of your light warriors. That's even worse. That is something Chaos has, and even that didn't use it as much. Instead, used like Cyclone attacks, which take out like 200 HP to all of my light warriors, including Ryo. See, I've just haste and temper these guys, you know, pretty much the same strategy. This game's pretty generous with magic, plus you can actually restore it, unlike the NES version, outside of inns. Thunder! Which Clay didn't do jack crap. Just haste the guys and you'll defeat him in like 3 or so turns, so won't have much of a chance to try to insta-kill us. Mega Elixir restores your HP completely. I don't remember if there's any item that'll increase the amount of HP you have, but I mean not HP, MP. Silver Apple already does the job for HP. So, here we are once again. I decided to show off that I did buy haste for Black Wizard after all. And also got Kira from... not to be confused with Akira. The spell Kira for Ryo. And I do level up once here. And I hope the enemies in the later dungeons become more difficult. Yet the bosses do not. Because, I mean, going through 40 levels of weaklings, that just sounds tedious, and it probably is. Cerberus. This might be the easiest one if it weren't for that dragon. You know, same old haste, temper. Yeah, same more Wind Protecta. That helps tremendously. And since it's thunder attacks, you're gonna want to use like anti-lightning or whatever it's called. Null Shock, I know, like spells that deflect half the HP Mecha does is anti-something. But playing through this wants me to play through the NES version again. I mean, the NES game, the original one, well, it's redundant. NES game original one, obviously it is the very first one. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Just has a lot of replay value. Just so addicting. I would like to play through a game without having to pick up like the healing staff and other items that cast some magic, because if there's one thing that was broken about the first Final Fantasy, is that like the healing staff and the other items casting a bunch of magic. almost makes Black Wizard useless and, you know, helps tremendously. Since I have used my capture card for Final Fantasy and whatnot, I will not be redoing that game. I sure as hell didn't want to have to re-record like the remake of this, since the same game with some noticeable differences. I didn't feel this was worth it, so perhaps I should change the playthroughs names for like Final Fantasy. Let's play Final Fantasy / Dawn of Souls for like the later parts. Final boss time, healing time. Waiting on past me time. And kicking arse time, or getting our arses kicked. We are stopped by an Echidna, who's clearly not doing its job to guard a Master Emerald of some sort. Okay, that reference wasn't as clever, it really wasn't. But yeah, we just got this colossal demonic Echidna to face. Yeah, Kojiro and Ryo are doing a lot of hits. Tremendous damage, I can't stress enough. And for the later dungeons, I'm probably going to have to pick up whatever that item's called after defeating Tiamat in the Temple of Chaos, Temple of Fiends, whatever. That restores like 150 HP each time you use it, so on everyone at that. So I'm probably going to have to get that before going through Hellfire, because that one gave me trouble, not going to lie. Well, that's it for this tedious dungeon. Hopefully the others will be more enjoyable to go through.